Today's video is a compilation of 5 different freeze-dried chicken recipes. Now, freeze-dried chicken, this is something that probably all of us who store freeze-dried food have in our pantries. But after a while, I can get into a rut of making like the same thing over and over again. Freeze-dried chicken can start to seem boring. Today, I'm going to show you 5 recipes from my channel that feature freeze-dried chicken, just in case you need like a little inspiration to bring a little variety back in your meal rotation. I'll show you how to make some French onion chicken and rice, along with the onion soup mix that goes in there. Then I've got a delicious roasted red pepper cream sauce. It's so perfect with that freeze-dried chicken. And believe it or not, if you leave out that chicken, that same sauce can double as a soup. Now my poppy seed chicken, it's a bit tangy, it's a lot creamy, and it's got this buttery, crunchy cracker topping that I just love on there. That recipe reminds me of the late 1990s. The Tex-Mex chicken enchilada casserole, it's gonna satisfy anybody's craving on a Taco Tuesday. It's so fantastic. I definitely serve that to company. And lastly, I'll show you my chicken spaghetti casserole. I've been making this since before I got married. The original recipe has that Velveeta in it and Rotel in it. Y'all, it's so good. It's got a bit of a kick to it as well. My friend Danya joins me in the kitchen for that last video, and we have such a great time together. I hope you enjoyed this compilation video and you're able to try some of these recipes soon. Welcome to the Freeze-Dried Foodie. My name's Kareth. Here you'll find delicious recipes that feature freeze-dried ingredients. Now, I use a lot of Thrivalist, but they've gone out of business, and you can use other brands in my recipes. Lots of us have food stores that we need to know how to cook with. On this channel, I'll show you how I cook with mine. To start us off today, I've got a delicious French onion chicken and rice casserole. But in order to make it, you need some onion soup mix. So let's start off with that recipe first, and then I'll show you the chicken and rice casserole. This first recipe for onion soup mix is based on what my mom used to make. It's very similar to those little envelopes or packages of onion soup mix that you get at the grocery store. It's very versatile. You can use it in so many different things. We are actually going to use it in a recipe, the second recipe I have for you, for French onion chicken casserole. So let's get started here and make some onion soup mix. We'll start out with a pint-sized jar. Of course, you could double this recipe or triple it if you decide you really like it and make a lot of it and put it in a bigger jar. I use both of our types of onions. I like the textural difference in the chopped onions and the sliced onions, but of course you could use all of the chopped onions. Those are some delicious seasonings we're going to put in there. I added the green onions. My mom never did that. I added the green onions, and I really like their flavor. Now my mom, when she made this, she did not include the Worcestershire powder or the dry mustard. But I have added those because I like the complexity of the flavors that those lend. So I highly recommend you get some of that Worcestershire sauce powder. I got it off of Amazon. Now the onion powder and the garlic powder, that's very traditional to put in this onion soup mix. Onion powder is just even more onion flavor. The beef bouillon that I put in this recipe, it's from Thrivalist. That's what that TL stands for if you see a capital T, capital L. Thrivalist's beef bouillon was a little bit lower in sodium than some other brands, but if you can't get that, don't worry about it. You can use whatever brand you prefer, just so it tastes good. It should turn out fine. I wanted y'all to see the texture of what this onion soup mix is like. So this is what you would store on your pantry shelf. And there are so many things you can make with onion soup mix. All right, let's move on to recipe number 2. This is French onion chicken casserole. When my mom made this, of course, she was using raw chicken breast and raw rice and beef bouillon and that onion soup mix. And well, she had to cook this in her oven for like an hour and a half, okay? We're not going to do that. We're going to cook it on the stove top, and it's going to be done in about 25 minutes. Oh, and I decided against adding the extra salt. It was plenty salty with that bouillon. You'll start this with a quart-sized jar, and I always say this, but you could totally cut this in half if you don't want to make 4 servings. You could make this in a pint-sized jar and make only 2 servings. We're going to start with uncooked raw rice, not the instant rice, but just regular rice. You can add whatever kind of freeze-dried chicken you would like here. I like the grilled chicken dices or that pulled chicken from Freeze Dry Wholesalers. It's kind of like rotisserie chicken. It's very good in here as well. You'll go ahead and add 3 tablespoons of the onion soup mix that you just made. We're going to add some Espanol sauce to this. It's delicious. That sour cream powder will blend a nice creaminess to it. Crush up your celery so the pieces are not too big. I'm adding 2 kinds of cheese, both the Parmesan and the mozzarella. If you want to, you could add some vegetables to this. I think broccoli would be wonderful in it, but I just wanted to make it how my mom made it. Go ahead and add an oxygen absorber so you can store this for the long term. And since it has sour cream powder in it, I would think probably up to a year, somewhere around that. It would be good on your pantry shelf. But this is a very easy recipe. I always say this, and it's true. It makes a great gift because it's a just add water recipe. You can give them the package of French's crispy fried onions along with it because it's shelf stable as well. So you would just give that along with this jar. And when you're ready to prepare it, get you a large skillet out with a tight-fitting lid. Empty the contents of your jar and add 3 cups of water. Now you will have to stir this pretty well. Freeze-dried ingredients and the sauce powders, they need a little bit of time and some encouragement to combine with the water. So just be patient, give it a really good stir until everything has absorbed that liquid, and then turn on your heat to probably medium-high. Every once in a while, come along and give it a stir until it comes to a boil. Just want to make sure that nothing's sticking to the bottom. Once you've reached a boil, crank down the heat all the way to low as your stove will go. And my boil was kind of vigorous here and splashed a little bit, but it's okay, everything's good. And I did have a little bit of sticking to the bottom of my skillet. So I just want y'all to make sure that you stir it well from the bottom. And I've got a stainless steel pan here, so it's not going to stick for long. It comes right up if there's liquid. So give it a really good stir and then put your lid on there and let it simmer on low for 20 minutes, no peeking. And after 20 minutes, this is what you'll have. The rice will have absorbed that water as it cooked, and it will be nice and thick. At this point, your rice should be tender. If you want your casserole to be more saucy than this, you can add more liquid to start with. I added 3 cups of water. You could add 3.5 or even 4 cups of water if you prefer it with more sauce. Definitely give it a taste and make sure everything's well cooked. Now's the time for those crispy fried onions, and I added about a cup to the top of it and just put the lid on there. My mom used to put it back in the oven and let it brown a little bit. You could do that if you'd like, or you could just sprinkle it on the top and let it sit a couple of minutes with the lid on it. It'll get good and hot. And now it's ready to serve up. And isn't that lovely? This casserole has the exact same flavors as my mom's French onion chicken casserole had, but in a lot less time and a lot less effort, to be honest. There was no dealing with raw chicken and there was no cooking for an hour and a half in the oven. So this was a quick weeknight dinner that was on the table in under half an hour. And it's delicious. It's really, really yummy. I hope y'all will give this a try. This next recipe has a kind of cool cooking technique that I'm excited to show you. I've got another recipe for a meal in a jar, and this one is for chicken with roasted red pepper cream sauce It's so delicious. I think y'all are going to really love it. And the cool thing about this recipe, it's really 2 recipes in one. And we'll talk more about that in a minute. I'm going to use some delicious vegetables in this roasted red pepper sauce. I'm adding some heavy cream to it to make it a cream sauce, as well as some chicken slices. The chicken in here is so good. The seasonings are really simple, but they are super yummy. This is probably one of the easiest recipes I've ever put up on my channel. We're going to make the sauce in the blender. Into a pint-sized jar, I'm going to put the ingredients for the roasted red pepper sauce. Now I'm calling it roasted, but you know, it's not exactly roasted. I will show you the cooking technique I use to get great flavor out of these veggies though. Into the bottom of the jar, it's 1/2 cup of red bell peppers. I did snap those in half to get more into that measuring cup. The peas are going to give you some nice starchiness and a bit of sweetness. Some onions and carrots going in here. And since these carrots are dehydrated, they're really, really hard. They act as an agitator in the blender. There goes some celery. That gives it great flavor. The mashed potato flakes here serve as a thickener. And into the jar, I'm going to put some ingredients to flavor that sauce. Chicken bouillon, freeze-dried basil, and some of the Thrivalist tomato sauce. You could also use Italian seasoning instead of that basil if you prefer. And I've got some garlic, salt and pepper, and some red pepper flakes. And these red pepper flakes will not make it too spicy, I promise. It's just going to add a really nice depth of flavor. And into a baggie, I've got 1/2 cup of that heavy cream powder. You need to keep it separate because we'll add that later in the cooking process. And you can add an oxygen absorber if you're going to keep this stored for a long time. You have to keep your chicken separate. And here's the deal, guys. I ran out of chicken, so that is only half the amount that the recipe calls for. I just had 1 cup of chicken. You really need 2, and you need to put it in a pint-sized jar. You can add a little bit of seasoning to the jar, so when we add the hot water, that chicken can refresh in its own sort of broth. It's really a yummy way to do it. Okay, so here are the jars that you could keep stored on your pantry shelf. And that way, anytime you're ready to make this meal, they are ready and waiting for you. All right, when you're ready to make this dish, you will start with the chicken. You need to refresh that chicken first. Into what will be the pint-sized jar, you're going to really fill that with water, just as much as you can put in that jar. And it needs to be good and hot because you want this to refresh as quickly as possible. So I just put the lid on there, gave it a little bit of a shake to mix up that seasoning that I put in there. And then I just topped it off with just as much water as I could fit into that jar. And then you just need to set that to the side. It needs about 15 minutes to refresh. Now we're going to make the roasted red pepper sauce. You'll open up that veggie jar, remove the baggie of heavy cream. We'll blend that later. It goes in at the end of the cooking. And into a blender cup, you'll want to add the veggies. And the cool thing here is these are freeze-dried vegetables and they blend up beautifully. They turn into complete powder, and that's exactly what you want. You want to blend these on the front end versus using an immersion blender later in the cooking process. And the reason I like this especially is because powder will cook extremely quickly, okay? And so it just saves a lot of time. It's pretty cool. All right, so you'll get out a large skillet. Now that's a cold skillet, and you need to add probably 3 or 4 tablespoons of oil, some sort of oil, olive oil, avocado oil, some sort of oil. And then you need to heat that to medium. And while that heats, get yourself a 1.5 cups of water and have that at the ready, because you will need it quickly at some point in the cooking process. You'll see in just a minute. And you can also just check on your chicken. You might give it a shimmy, shimmy, shake, shake. Make sure all of that chicken is getting hydrated. And one of my subscribers said, hey, try turning the jar upside down to make sure all of the chicken gets rehydrated. And I thought, yeah, that's brilliant. So thank you very much. All right, once your oil is heated, you can add that powder. And this is the cooking technique I was talking about. We are going to do a quick saute of those veggies in that oil to bring out a sort of roasted flavor for the vegetables. So y'all know if you roast or saute vegetables, it just brings out their natural sweetness and they taste much better than if they're just boiled. So that's what I'm doing here. I added a little extra oil because I just hadn't put enough in at the beginning. And you'll just stir these around. You're making what is going to look sort of like a paste. And you are not only sauteing those vegetables, but also those seasonings that we put in there. And everything's just going to have a really, really good flavor. And because it's a powder, it will cook extremely quickly. This is not going to take you but maybe 1 minute, even less. Your kitchen is going to smell amazing. And when you start to develop some fond and it darkens in color, go ahead and add that water. So that's 1.5 cups of water that we had ready and waiting. And stir it. And that right there is your roasted red pepper sauce. It really will thicken up very quickly. We're still just on medium heat. I haven't changed the heat at all. And it's going to happen real fast. And as that bubbles away, you can go ahead and put your cream powder into the cup of a blender. It was 1/2 cup of cream powder, so it's 1/2 cup of water. And then just give that a blend. Make sure there's no lumps in your cream. And then it is ready to add to your sauce. In goes the cream, and you'll give that a good stir. I think this is just gorgeous. I love how that deep red turns into more of an orange color when you add that cream. And it will heat through, and then you can go ahead and add your chicken. Of course, remember that's only half of the chicken that it's supposed to be, okay? It really does look like the chicken's just swimming in sauce, but it's supposed to be double that amount of chicken. Now's a good time to give it a taste and adjust your seasonings. You can add some additional heavy cream into that sauce. Y'all know me, I love doing that. Now you can serve this over mashed potatoes, rice, noodles. If you're low carb, I would serve this over zoodles or cauli rice. I think it's delicious over zoodles. So here we have our chicken with roasted red pepper cream sauce. Isn't it beautiful? And as gorgeous as it is, and as fantastic as it smells, it tastes even better. Y'all, this sauce is so good. It's really smooth. I love it that you can blend these vegetables beforehand, save a lot of time, and not have to get out the immersion blender to have a really smooth and creamy sauce. And what's great about this is if you want to just completely leave out that chicken, this is roasted red pepper soup. So that sauce doubles as a soup. You can add maybe 1/2 cup of extra water. You would have some creamy roasted red pepper soup. And it is delicious. It's the exact same recipe. It's just leaving out the chicken. So there you go, a bonus recipe. If you've never had this recipe before, I hope you'll give it a try because wow, it is so yummy and it's really easy. Today's recipe is for another meal in a jar. This one is for poppy seed chicken. It's a subscriber request, so I hope I do you proud. The original recipe is that one that calls for cream of chicken soup, sour cream, chicken, poppy seeds, and then it's topped with a crunchy butter cracker topping. So I am going to show you how to do this in the best possible way. You'll have to store some butter crackers next to your jar, but y'all, the topping is so much better the way I'm going to show you how to make it. Now, of course, you're going to need some poppy seeds for your poppy seed chicken, and then just some regular kind of seasonings. I'm including a little bit of lemon powder, and let me show you how I do this. I'm going to start with just a pint-sized jar because I only wanted 2 servings of this. This is easily doubled and you could put it in a quart-sized jar. So you'll need about a cup of chicken dices and then a cup of sour cream powder. Now I will tell you, this makes a lot of sauce. That's how I like it. So if you don't want as much sauce as you see in this video, just cut that back to about 3/4 of a cup and cut back just a little on the water. I gave it a good shake to settle the ingredients down in the spaces and make some room at the top of my jar. And then I'm just going to add the poppy seeds and the seasonings here. I thought, oh, I'll try and put the poppy seeds along the outside so they can see them. But it didn't work very well. I don't think you can see them. They're too high up in the jar. All right, here are my seasonings, and these are just kind of normal. It's salt, pepper. Chef's Choice is an all-purpose seasoning from Thrivalist. If you don't have that, you can put any kind of all-purpose seasoning. And that Trinity shake is just onions, celery, and green peppers that have been dried. Now you're going to see me add some cornstarch and 1/4 cup of that cream of chicken powder from Amazon. But I find it very difficult to even find that powder on Amazon these days. And if I do find it, it's expensive. I'm going to suggest that you use the same amount of my cream of soup mix. That recipe is on my channel. It's a great substitution for any cream of chicken, cream of mushroom. Just use my mix instead. It should be delicious. I forgot to add the lemon powder that I put in that bowl, and I realized it afterwards, and I did add it when I went to take pictures. Yeah, just a little bit of that lemon powder, or if you have true lemon packets, it adds a little bit of tang to this, and it's really nice. So this is what you would be storing on your pantry shelf. And of course, you need to store the butter crackers with it. Be sure to check the expiration date on your butter crackers. Now you can see here I've used 2 of the mini sleeves, but you could use 1 of the regular size. All right, and when you're ready to prepare this, you'll just get out a couple of things. You'll need a medium-sized pot for the chicken and the sour cream sauce, and you'll need a medium-sized skillet for the topping. This is going to be done completely on the stovetop. You do not need to put this in the oven. So empty the contents of the jar into the pot and add a couple cups of water and give it a really good stir. And then just put it to medium heat until it starts to simmer. Meanwhile, you can work on your topping. Okay, this is by far the best way I've found to do this topping. What you need to do is brown your butter, okay? So that was half a stick of butter, or 4 tablespoons, and then you just get it on medium heat until it browns. The flavor is so good. I just kind of went back and forth between the sour cream sauce and chicken and then the topping. But when you get that to a bubble, reduce that heat to a medium-low. I ended up at a 3 out of 10 on my stove, and I simmered it for 10 minutes and it was ready. Meanwhile, check on your butter. Now this is the color you're looking for. You want it an amber color, but don't let it go past that. You don't want to burn it. Turn that heat off when you get to that color, and then add the crackers. And I just crush them up inside the sleeve. When you add those crackers to that browned butter and it coats all the crackers, oh y'all, it's so good. And I even suggest tasting that. I used a salted Kerrygold butter and it was perfect. And there you have it. There's your cracker topping. It's way better than putting it on the chicken, putting it in the oven and cooking it for 35 or 40 minutes. This method is way better than that. Be sure to give your sour cream sauce a taste. I decided it needed some more chicken flavor, so I added some of our Thrivalist chicken bouillon. I will add that in the recipe notes down below. And then make sure your chicken is tender. Mine was tender after about 10 minutes of simmering. I like to serve this over rice. I think it's a great combination. That rice kind of soaks up that sauce and it just makes it stretch farther. We always serve this with green beans. Now here comes the best part. It's the crunchy topping. And that way everybody gets as much as they want on their portion and it stays nice and crunchy. And if a little bit happens to get on the green beans, it's not a bad thing. So here you go. Here's our poppy seed chicken. Isn't that pretty? Y'all, it tastes so good. It's creamy. The chicken is nice and tender. That sauce is just delicious with a little bit of lemon. Very good. And I'm telling you, this is the best way to make that butter cracker topping. It's crunchy, it's buttery. When you brown the butter, it's so good. This was really tasty, y'all. I hope you give this a try. And let me know what you think in the comments. I appreciate it when y'all give me a like and a subscribe and a comment. All of that helps my channel. And next up is my chicken enchilada casserole. I mean, would it even be a freeze-dried foodie video if I didn't put something Tex-Mex in here? I hope y'all enjoy this one. Today I have a recipe for you for a Tex-Mex chicken enchilada casserole. This one is going to be very similar to my beef enchilada casserole. I'm just going to use chicken in this one. You are going to need a bag of tortilla chips to store next to your meal in a jar. There are quite a few ingredients, so this is one of those that if you get out all the stuff to make this, you might as well make several jars at a time, especially with the seasonings. There's quite a few seasonings that you need to put into the enchilada sauce. But the cool thing is I'm going to show you how to make a completely legitimate Tex-Mex homemade red enchilada sauce. And you can use that recipe anytime you want to make enchiladas at your house. You don't have to buy those cans. You can make it homemade. I'll show you how. I'm going to start with a quart-sized jar. You'll get about 4 servings. Into the bottom of the jar, I put a cup of chicken dices. You can use any kind of our chicken dices. To fill in the gaps and the spaces, I'm including some sour cream powder and 1/4 cup of our cheese sauce. Those are both going to make the enchilada sauce have a lot of flavor and some creaminess as well. I'm including some green chili peppers and some onions in here, as well as some cilantro. Now this is freeze-dried cilantro. It's that Lighthouse brand. That's a little bit of oregano. All right, and then comes some tomato dices and some yummy, crunchy, sweet corn. I'm putting 2 kinds of instant beans in here. I'm using instant black beans and instant refried beans. You could use all of one or the other. I do like the refried beans because they help to thicken the enchilada casserole. And then in the top is going to go some pepper jack cheese. You could also use cheddar, but this is a very full jar, so you might need to pat that down a little bit in order to fit the little baggie of ingredients to make the enchilada sauce. So into a snack size baggie, I've got 3 tablespoons of flour, and then I'm going to add a lot of seasoning to that. The tomato powder, chili powder, cumin, paprika, chicken bouillon, these are all things that usually go into an enchilada sauce. And like I said, I'm making a red enchilada sauce. And we're going to flavor it with onion powder, garlic powder, salt and pepper, and you do need about a teaspoon of sugar to balance out the acidity of the tomato So all of those things go into the baggie. You need to keep it separate because what we're going to do is toast the seasonings and the flour in some oil. And in order to do that, to make that enchilada sauce, you have to keep those things separate. So it's a really tight fit here, but it does fit. That is the jar that you can keep stored on your pantry shelf. And like I said, if you try this recipe and you like it, then you can make several of these jars at a time. When you're ready to make it, you'll need to get out a large skillet or Dutch oven. And then on about a medium heat, you're going to need to melt some butter or a combination of butter and oil. That's what I've used. I did 3 tablespoons of avocado oil and a tablespoon of butter. And then in go the contents of that baggie, because this is going to be red enchilada sauce. And you need to toast that flour and toast those seasonings. Those seasonings are fat soluble, and once they hit that fat and the heat, they're just going to really wake up and come to life. So that's going to be a very delicious enchilada sauce there. And of course you need to toast flour because raw flour is not appetizing, but toasted flour is very good in a gravy or like this in a sauce. You need to toast it for 2 to 3 minutes. At this point, your kitchen will smell amazing. And then you can start to add some water. We're going to add a total of 4 cups of water here, but only 1 cup at a time. So the first cup that goes in, make sure you whisk that quickly. We don't want lumps in our enchilada gravy. And then add some more water, just a cup at a time. So go ahead and give it a whisk. It will dissolve any lumps that have formed. And the heat is still at a medium here. And then you're just gonna bring that to a boil. In the interest of time, I'm just going to speed this up. I just added a 1/3 cup of water there. After you've added 3 cups of water, that is enchilada sauce. That's my recipe for homemade red enchilada sauce. Now, because we're going to add an entire jar of freeze-dried ingredients, I'm going to go ahead and add a 4th cup of water because those ingredients are going to need that in order to rehydrate. So after you've added all 4 cups of water and you've whisked and it's come up to temperature, you can add the contents of the jar. And they are just going to go straight into the enchilada sauce. You'll need to stir that really well, coat all of those ingredients in sauce, and you're still at a medium at this point, medium heat. Once you bring that to a boil and you give it a really good stir, you can turn down your heat to medium-low. I ended up at a 2 out of 10 on my stove. And I covered this and I simmered it for about 20 minutes total. Now you do have to come along every 3 or 4 minutes and stir it because you've got cheese in there, you've got the beans in there, and they will tend to stick on you. So just make sure you stir it from the bottom. You don't want anything to burn. But as those ingredients cook, they are going to darken in color and the flavors are going to get nice and intense. And after about 20 minutes, when you are stirring, you'll notice that it's really nice and thick. And that's what you want. We are going to add the chips in just a minute, and that will really thicken it up. But that is what you're looking for. And then you'll want to go ahead and give it a taste test. Test a black bean if you put those in there. And if it's tender, then it should be ready to add the chips. And I'm going to say about half a bag of tortilla chips is what you're going to need to add. Shelf-stable tortilla chips should be good, like just a bag of, let's say, Tostitos or something like that. Those should be good for at least 6 months on your shelf. But I'm using some chips that we got at a local Mexican restaurant. Now this step is optional. You can add some freshly grated cheddar cheese and let that melt. You can just leave it on low for about 5 minutes. And that amount of time, the cheese will melt and your chips will soften. The chips will soften into the texture of regular tortillas. And then it's ready to serve up. I like to serve it with some Mexican rice, maybe some avocado, a dollop of sour cream, and I love cilantro. I put cilantro on everything. So I do recommend that if you have it. You could also include a little squeeze of lime if you like that. So this is the type of enchilada sauce that's served on enchiladas just like all over the place. All the little Tex-Mex restaurants will have some sort of a red enchilada sauce. And you can use different meats with it. So like I said earlier, I do have a beef enchilada casserole recipe already up on my channel. And of course you could use it with chicken. You can also use it with a pulled pork. It's just a very, very good sauce, and it's great with like any kind of meat. They even serve this type of red enchilada in the cafeterias at the public schools around here. The San Antonio School District published their recipe from the lunch ladies in the cafeteria for their enchiladas. So many people around here grew up on those enchiladas and love them. And to wrap things up today, our final recipe is for chicken spaghetti. And this one, it just might be my favorite one of the day because I had so much fun making this video with my friend Danya. Hi there, everyone, and welcome. This is my friend Danya.
Hello.
She's my friend and sister in Christ from church, and I love her dearly. And she and I are going to make a recipe, a meal in a jar recipe for chicken spaghetti.
Yeah. Oh, that sounds amazing.
Right?
Yes, it's one of my favorites.
Oh, good, good, good. So stick around and we'll show you how to put it together. I'm excited.
See you in a bit.
Okay. This recipe was originally given to me by my sweet friend Jennifer Phillips. When Drew and I got engaged, Jennifer and some friends gave me a bridal shower, and it was a kitchen-themed shower, and everyone brought me a recipe along with the gift, and through the years I have just treasured those recipes. You've probably had this recipe. I've seen it up on the Pioneer Woman blog recently. I've had it at potlucks. It's that chicken spaghetti recipe that has the rotel and the onions and the peppers in it, along with a lot of cheese and cream of chicken soup. So it's really yummy. So this is my take on that recipe as a meal in a jar. I hope you enjoy it. So what we're going to do in order to fit the spaghetti into the jar is Danya is going to kind of break these spaghetti noodles into thirds. All right?
I can handle that.
All right. Perfect. And it's time to start adding other ingredients. We'll start with a cup of our chicken dices.
Okay.
All right. Yeah. And then after this, we'll do some powdery things to fill in the spaces. And once again, I'm going to suggest you substitute my cream of soup mix here instead of the cream of chicken powder. 1/4 cup tomatoes and a 1/4 cup of green peppers. I'm going to break these up a little bit. These are in slices, and sometimes they need to be broken up just a bit. A bit better. And then we'll do 2 tablespoons of green chilies. Okay. And you can always do this as you kind of smoosh it. Okay. 2 tablespoons of that. And we're going to do 2 tablespoons of the chopped onions.
Yes.
And 1 tablespoon of green onions. A tablespoon of our garlic. Do a tablespoon of that.
Oh, wow. That smells good.
Yeah, it's fragrant. All right, in this part of the video, I was just talking about using Thrive Life chicken bouillon, but you can use any brand. And also you'll need some sort of an all-purpose seasoning. and a little bit of kosher salt. So all of these we're going to do a quarter. Okay. Garlic powder, red pepper flakes, which, you know, you can eliminate this if you don't want the spice, or you can double it if you like more spice.
My husband would double it.
Yeah.
He might even triple it.
Oh.
He likes making things very spicy.
I'm going to set this on here and crank a little bit of black pepper. So if you were going to store this for the long term, you just kind of wipe off your rim. We get a lot of times some of the dust from the powders that you put in there get on your rim, and you want a good seal. So you would wipe the rim and then an oxygen absorber, put it in here.
Do you get these off of Amazon?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm sure you. Okay, we forgot. We need half a cup of cheddar and half a cup of pepper jack. So this is what we're going to store on our pantry shelf. I'm going to go take pictures now. And by the way, you can find the full written recipes in the original videos that I will link down below. They are written in the description boxes of the original videos. But if you prefer to get the recipes in cookbook form, I do have a couple of cookbooks for sale, and I will link to those below. You can find the paperback, print versions on Amazon, and then the digital downloads are available on my website. I will link to all of this down below. Y'all, we're going to make this, and this is going to be hopefully a delicious lunch for us. So I'm going to let Danya do it.
Yes.
And here we go.
I was a younger mom with 4 littles. How wonderful this would have been to have these options. But even now, as a grandmother, and when I go to visit my family in Alabama, these are just wonderful meals to make and take with me. So I'm looking forward to trying this one. This one will be new for me. If you could just smell this. It's a shame that this is not a scratch and sniff screen, because this would be such a treat to smell. Oh, wow. Here. Okay.
Yeah, put it on medium high.
Okay, sounds amazing.
Okay, we'll give this a little bit of time. We'll give it some time, people. So we have come to a bubble.
Oh, it smells so nice. So delicious.
All right. And once it comes to a bubble, then you can reduce the heat down to medium low and just let it go for probably 15-20 minutes. So we'll check back with you in just a bit.
Sounds good.
And make sure it's not sticking, because you know we've got cheese in there.
Right. Oh, it's thickening up nicely.
Yay! Doesn't it smell good?
This smells amazing.
Yeah.
Oh,
This is going to be a good one, y'all.
I cannot wait to try this.
Then we'll just cook it until the pasta is tender.
Okay.
All right, let's give it a stir.
Yes. Oh.
Look at how that has thickened up.
Mm-hmm.
And then we'll give it a taste, because we need to know, of course, if we need to adjust some seasonings, but also if the noodles are tender.
Okay. So let me first taste the
Yeah.
cheese.
Okay, what do you think?
Good flavor. I feel like it might need a little kick.
Okay.
So let's maybe some cayenne.
Ooh, yes, let's do it.
I can get a little crazy with cayenne, so I need to be careful. There we go. Let's just sprinkle on top.
Yeah, stir that in, and then we'll taste it again in a minute and see what else it needs. Once we get it to the flavor profile that we're comfortable with, I'm going to let it sit for just a couple of minutes on the stove, and I'll add a little bit of grated cheese to the top, and we're going to broil it.
Oh, that sounds wonderful.
Okay. Yay! Now that it is ready, we're going to top it with some cheese. That's wonderful.
Okay.
Fantastic. Okay, let's put that in the oven.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
Look at that.
it's delicious.
Doesn't it?
Yes.
Okay. But we're
Now
going to have to let it sit. You got to cover it and let it sit. It'll need to tighten up just a bit. So this is the hard part. Be patient. Let it tighten up. All right. It's been 10 minutes. Let's look.
Oh, isn't that beautiful?
Okay. Dish it up, Danya.
Okay. Oh, this is
Let me
just...
get in here.
Oh, it's so creamy.
Oh, nice. Yes.
Look at that. Oh, can you hear the oozing of the cheese? It's amazing. Oh, this is beautiful.
All right.
Beautiful, beautiful.
What'd you think?
Okay.
And please be honest.
Oh, wow.
That's so good.
Absolutely delicious. This is definitely a keeper. Delicious.
Yay.
Delicious. You guys have to try it.
Oh, that's fantastic. You could give this as a gift and just include the instructions on your label. How easy was that to prepare,
It
right?
was very easy. Absolutely. Oh, wow.
We gotta turn the camera off so we can eat real. Eat for real.
It's kind of hard to eat politely on camera, so time to turn it off so we can just, inhale it the way we really want to be.
Right, we're just gonna dive in here. Okay. Let me say thank you all so much for watching, and I hope you give it a try. Danya, thank you for coming.
You are so
today.
welcome. My joy. Hey, it was really worth it because you get this at the end. So
Super fun. Okay, love you, friend. Thank you.
thank you.
At this point, I think I have over 275 recipes on my channel. So as you can imagine, I am not able to feature all of the recipes that have freeze-dried chicken in this video alone. So if you are interested in some of my other recipes that have the chicken in it, I'm going to show you some of them on the screen here. You can head over to my channel, click on the videos tab, and that will bring up the rest of my videos. You can scroll through there and see what looks interesting to you. I always put the full recipes for those dishes in the description boxes below the original videos. I basically give away all of my recipes for free to anyone who has access to YouTube. If you are interested in supporting me and my channel, if you like what you're seeing, you can always purchase a cookbook because that definitely supports me. And you could also hit the like button and then leave a comment down below because that just helps YouTube to know that it's a good video, and then they might offer it to somebody else who might also find it helpful. All right, guys. Well, thank you all so much for watching. I do have a scripture verse of the day today, and this one I'm excited to share with you just because it's probably my favorite verse in the Bible. It's actually two verses. It's from the book of Colossians, chapter 1, verses 13 and 14, and it reads, "He has delivered us from the domain of darkness and transferred us to the kingdom of his beloved Son, in whom we have redemption, the forgiveness of sins." That right there, folks, is the gospel in a nutshell. And I just love it so much. All right. I hope you have a blessed day, a wonderful week. And until next time, y'all take care and keep thriving.